Hi, I'm Matt from Interformula.
Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to the 80s ATCC Group C. Tonight we'll be at the Adrenaline Impact Historic Series at the Phillip Island circuit in Australia. And with us here we have now the Kelvinder Singh, which is driving the Holden Commodore of 82. Bear in mind these cars are from the 80s, so they look and sound insane. You're with us with one good day of racing today. We have short and sweet sprint races coming to you, and qualifying, as you can see on the screen, is going on right now with 7 minutes at the counter down to go. Now we look at Kelvinder as he goes into the circuit, going down the turns and driving up into the this is what I believe should be the Siberia corner. As he goes into T7, a patient. So bear in mind what you're looking at here is today we have some rather heavy touring cars that we have here, the Australian cars here. And the particular model that you're looking at is the Holden Commodore with 400 horsepower and weighing about 1,200 kilograms. As we can see Kelvinder here, they're making that enormous twitch turn down onto T11 and going down to T12, heading down onto Gardner Strait. Going for his qualifying lap, his hot lap. We're looking at his time, looks quite good, looks quite sharp, looks quite fast, and he crosses the line for a good timing of 1:45.465 in the Holden Commodore. Now, is this the lap to beat at the moment on the leaderboard, on the timing board? That is it. So, and we now look on the camera of Mohammed El Rizieq as he goes through the line as well in his RX-7, a very different car, 2.2 seconds down on Kelvinder. RX-7, a very different car with almost 100 horsepower less, but almost 250 kilograms lighter than the Holden. So a very different beast instead. And as Lloyd Lachlan goes past the line doing a 1:46.7, a very competitive time in the Ford Falcon X.
Hi Kelvin. So thanks for commentating today. So
Hi.
yeah, just a bit info about Lloyd. This is his hometown. So he has some experiences, real life experiences racing cars here.
It's basically his Sepang to us, right?
Yeah, of course.
and I hope Lloyd eventually hears this, but I must say Sepang looks like the better track.
But this is I think back of his hand already.
I have no doubt. It's just like all of us here, all of us Malaysian, our petrol heads in Malaysia. The dream, the ultimate goal is to go down to Sepang, do a few good laps, and put in our mark there on the track. Have you been driving on the track yourself as well, Cairo?
In Australia, no. But from my visit to Perth, I did just manage to step into a drag strip that was currently, that time it was doing servicing of the surface, so I didn't manage to watch any races. There are many races there, especially the V8 Supercar series that I look forward to, but it was not, the timing of my visit was not in sync of that. So
Alright. But I think you're right there. The V8 Supercars, fantastic series with Scotty Mac just winning this season. I think rather strongly. Very good racing, don't you think that series provides?
yeah, very competitive, and they're very close in intervals. It's very intense to watch. Even if you get 1 minute of footage, every time it does tingle your senses. So it becomes very enjoyable to watch. Okay, we have Alpha right now. He's driving the Beamer. So what do you know about this car?
John Player Special JP Beamer livery, 421 horsepower with 438 torques, and a rather strong car with a power to weight ratio of 3.5 kgs per horsepower. This is a rather interesting car. Very happy to see how fast he can put that car on the line there. As he goes past the line, obviously looking at him, he has improved over his previous time, about 1 second better than his last lap. And as we go into the last 2.5 minutes, it's clearly Kelvinder with the benchmark lap of 1:45 that he did earlier on the Holden Commodore, followed by Pete Jordan and then Lloyd Loughlin. Oh, this is a rather interesting series, don't you think? What we have today, four different types of car, four different types of powertrain, and yet the times are so similar.
It's kind of a challenge to drive these cars with low tech. If we were to compare today's race cars, so all of the total car control has to be done manually, like braking, and your tractions. So yeah, what's your view on that? Driving these old cars, are they really accurate to their time?
Very much so. The car that we're looking at right now, basically the Mazda RX-7 FB. I've had a chance to meet a few of our friends in Sepang that drove this car on Sepang actually. And yeah, I mean, it is exactly like what you said, right? With 1 minute and 20 on the clock left. Their main comment is that yes, these cars, you really have to do everything yourself. And here, the traction control is your right foot.
Yeah.
And the ABS is aku brake sendiri. Is your left foot. So yeah, I think it's very challenging, but at the same time, when you nail down a good lap, when you nail a strong lap, this is exactly what it means when you do a nice lap and then you really feel the accomplishment there. A really good and fantastic. And look at that,
nice sideways.
Drifts the light Mazda through the turn and going up into this is what I believe the Stoner corner and into Honda later. Oh, this is a great circuit, and no doubt that we have had many types of races here, including MotoGP. I think one of the most famous types of racing in Phillip Island.
Yeah.
And yeah, I generally I love this circuit as well.
Okay.
Drift off in the circuit, yeah.
Let's go on over to Javier.
Yep, Javier has actually not yet put in a lap. Yeah, I'm wondering what's wrong with Javier, and his times are a bit different as well. As he crosses the line and goes just in time as well. Yeah, his time just in time. Yeah, and Javier snatches pole. Javier Alvarez snatches pole with a 1:44.48 lap, strong mega lap in the RX-7. As we now focus our attentions on Max. Driving a different car and going down the straights. So we're now in overtime. I suspect that qualifying will end shortly once we finish these laps. What do you look forward most to for this race, Khairul?
Oh, I'm anticipating some action on the first few corners because it's quite a challenge to drive these cars, especially to keep them on your racing line.
I agree. And also, of course, to launch it well, right? It's different, right? These are so different, right? In the sense that they have different power to weight, they have different types of, and look at that as Max drifts the car across the
this is the challenging part. Well, I think this is turn. What turn is this? Turn two. It's a very long, winding, long corner there. So most of the guys misjudged it and then overshoot. So yeah, that's why we have to we control the throttle very evenly there.
You really don't want to drift the car across turn two because it is a really challenging thing to do. As we look at Max now, he's basically obviously he's done with his qualifying, but he's just trying to show us his drifting skills.
Yeah, everybody's in the pits already.
As we prepare for the race start. I think it's rather important that on the turn two, let's keep our eyes on turn two, which I think when the lights go out, the magic will happen there on the southern loop as they all go flat into the southern loop, trying to get the best line and time, and of course position out of that particular turn. It should be interesting to see which cars fly off, because that turn is like what you said, it's rather challenging, right? I believe it is a blind off camber turn. Am I right?
Yeah, it is.
So,
We might see some action there.
oh yes, definitely, no doubt about it. I think we will definitely see some sort of action there in terms of cars overtaking and possibly cars flying off the circuit as well. Should be a challenging turn, and of course, this being such a short race, it's important to fight for the positions, but also at the same time make sure that you don't fly off into the circuit, because the minute you do, you probably lose the chance to go winning again. So.
So here's the
Yeah.
grid. So we got a total of 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 cars. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's a good turnout.
Yeah. So we focus our attention on the start as Javier Alvarez will lead away from Kelvin Singh, and as the lights go on and off, and then we will be racing now. A great launch from Javi Alvarez as he pulls away from the grid, making a clean and absolute fantastic start, and also the Mazda RX-7 of Pit Jordan going up into second position, overtaking the car of Kelvin Singh, with Lloyd Lachlan closely behind in fourth position. And obviously a little bit of a slip from Kelvin as he now falls back into third position and consolidates third position. They go into second turn, the southern loop, and this is the important turn that we said. It's a blind off-camber turn that you must not slide off the circuit as they go down the drag race straight down into Honda, the hairpin right. Focusing our attention on the back of the grid as Max tries to make his way through the field, and now we focus back on Pit Jordan as he tries to outbrake his competitors into the Honda right hairpin. Now race down to Siberia the next turn as Kelvinder now regains his composure and is now very closely behind, ready to attack with a high horsepower Commodore as he just runs a little bit wide onto the circuit. And now we complete a very interesting first half lap, and let's see if they consolidate the positions. So what do you think of the start, Carol?
It was rather clean. I'm glad it was clean. So nobody overshot, nobody bumped into each other. So it's a good start out. So
Yes.
let's just see what happens next.
Yes, very interesting. I almost thought that Kelvinder was going to be in the side
Whoa!
of
I jinxed it. Oh
I guess this is what
man,
they call
that's
the
so.
commentator's curse. and Kelvin also goes off as well as Lloyd Lachlan powers into second position in his fourth. Kelvin regains his position and now is back into fourth, chasing down Alpha in the black BMW. But obviously he's suffering some issues as Kelvin is now moving off the circuit, I believe, going into the pit lane. I'll focus our cameras on Lloyd Lachlan as he chases down the leading RX-7 of Javier Alvarez. Can he do that? The gap is now 1.4 and closing. So obviously the powerful Ford is hunting the not so powerful Mazda RX-7 down. What do you think is going to happen? As we can see, looking at that off-camber left turn, that is just so exciting. It's very important not to fly off the circuit here, and obviously Lloyd is sawing at the steering, trying to keep the car on the circuit. Wow, what an interesting driving technique as well as a skill from Lloyd there.
Yeah. We've been running this server for a few days now. So if you notice the safety lap that we shared on Adrenaline Impact Facebook page is footage of Lloyd driving an RX-7. So I think he mentioned somewhere that he wants to challenge himself driving another car today.
So, and he did just that, driving another car, but still 1.9 and 2 seconds now behind the lead of Javi Alvarez there. A very close fight indeed. However, looking at the gap though, it seems that Javier is pulling away from the Ford of Lloyd. I wonder if the weight is as the Mazda just twitched there and Pit Jordan just caught the slide before he slid off. That was a wonderful save. I think these cars are rather twitchy to drive as the car of Max tries to brake very hard into MG and just manages to control this very heavy Commodore going out of T11 as Pit Jordan now fights him down T12, and basically Max just gave up. Maybe there's some issues with his car.
Yeah, maybe lah. Maybe he has a slowdown penalty.
Oh, that's cool.
Because I heard from this track is quite sensitive to these slowdown penalties, so they have to be aware of that.
Yes, rather important to ensure that no one actually has an advantage as a result of an off-track antique, right? So I think it's interesting as they now go up into Dohan Corner and then into the southern loop for the Phillip Island circuit. As here, Pit Jordan now really saws the steering left and right. As you can see, his wheel is just moving left and right, trying to keep the car on track for the turn 2 off-camber bend. It is, I mean, if we can just actually sometimes see the in-car camera, that would be rather interesting going through too. Right. As Pit Jordan now goes into the Honda right hairpin into Siberia, the car in front of him is Spyros, and he is only 2.4 seconds away and closing the gap now. Pit Jordan obviously on the vengeance now to recover the positions that he lost during the start when he briefly just spun off. But as you can see on the screen here, the first 3 cars consolidating their positions, going a very strong first, second and third into the last 5 minutes of the race going down to Phillip Island.
What we have here, we have Ravinder catching up. So
he is back. KSS Gaming is back with a vengeance, and look at him closing the gap down there. So what do you think of this heavy car versus agile car combination? What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, all of them has their pros and cons. So maybe the heavier cars do carry a bit more horsepower, and maybe the weight can be used as an advantage somewhere in the track, I guess.
Right. We're going to see Kelvinder do a dive down onto turn 1. Let's take a look. Oh, he's on the inside now. On the inside of Elvisky, and now he is on his back, directly behind him, and he's gonna dive and just manages to hold the car and not tap as the someone spins out in front. Who was that? I wonder. Is that
Dora? He's DNF already.
Oh right. So Dora is DNF. Right.
I think he entered back with another car. I don't know.
Yes, down there in 14th position. As Kelvinder now goes on the outside, doing the switchback, cutting in onto Elvisky. Wow, as you can see on the onboard cameras, the higher horsepower Commodores are not really just driving up the back of the not so powerful RX-7 on the straight, right? Surprising for me actually. That proves that I think personally I'm a fan of Colin Chapman. His principle of add lightness. I'm not sure if you've heard about that. Yeah, so it is if you add horsepower, you go faster on the straights, you tweak your suspensions and whatnot, you're better in the corners. But if you add lightness, or basically take away the weight, you go faster everywhere. And it's quite clear in the sense that there's a slowdown, there's a touch from KSS Kelvinder and on Risky, and also overtaking the car of Pesa on the inside as they now go on to T12 onto Gardner Straight as Risky takes back the position, and now here Kelvinder goes on the outside full throttle with the car in front of him, just moving out of the way as they now both went past the RX-7. Going down the RX-7 of Matt, now going into turn 1, Dohan Corner with Kelvinder on the inside, and let's see who yields. Nobody yields. No one is yielding, and Kelvinder, basically Elvisky had to back off out of the turn to avoid the crash, and Kelvinder moves up into 6th position after recovering from a less than ideal start.
Ooh, that was hectic there. So we move on over to Pit Jordan. So he's catching up also.
Yep, as Pit Jordan now is in the white and blue livery Mazda RX-7, diving down. I think he's going to dive down the inside. Is he? Is he going to dive down the inside? Yes, he is.
Whoa!
Going on the inside and taking the position from Virus in the same RX-7. Now they both have the same power to weight. Can he hold into the next turn? Yes, he can. And Pit Jordan consolidates his recovery up to P4.
So this is a train of 4 cars in positions 4 to 7, yeah, I guess.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is very exciting indeed. I
Mm.
think this is also reflective in the modern day Formula One. We're looking at the fights for P3, P4, 5, 6, 7, and we're not really looking at the 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
the Mercedes and the Red Bull of Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
Quite
We're
true,
gonna
right?
bring you action, man. So the gaps, I will drop in by to the race leaders once in a while.
Yes, yes, yes. But as we can see there on the screen, Javi Alvarez doing a very solid race pace of 146. Just a very strong race from Javier all around. And as we look at him on the camera. Hi, Javi. Hope you're having a good race there. As he goes up into the, I believe is T12, going on. Oh, sorry, T11 and T12 going on to the main straight. He has a clear lead of now 4.1 seconds. But the interesting part should be AFAR with his gap now only 1.4 seconds between him. 5.4 seconds between himself and Lloyd. Let's see if he can manage to catch up or if anyone makes a mistake. But so far, our leaders are clean. Our leaders are safe. As we have a position move down at P5 to P7. We look at Pesa as he moves ahead into P5 and he goes on to try and hunt down Pit Jordan, which is 7 seconds ahead.
Ooh, maybe somebody overshot there,
I
and
think so.
he claimed a position there.
Yep. But just pay attention to the car of Kelvinder Singh. 0.8 seconds behind the RX-7 of Pesa. I think he's fighty. I think he is about to go deep into the next turn. Half a second behind 0.5 as we go into Hayshed and moving up into Luki High soon. Oh, and this is the final lap. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final lap. The leader is on the final lap. So these cars are about half a lap behind. So we will have one more lap of racing between Pesa as well as Kelvinder as they dive deep into the MG right turn. With Kelvinder have a massive launch up into T11. He's on the outside. He holds his line. The RX-7 is not giving up. Exhaust spewing flames as he settles back into P6. Yielding the position to Kelvinder, but there's an accident.
Okay, that's after the finish. It's okay. So there, you can see the results for. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. As they cross the line, Javier Alvarez P1, Lloyd Lachlan P2, Afar P3, Pit Jordan P4 with a great recovery, Kelvinder P5, and Pesa P6. And we have our provisional results here, followed by Fairuz at P7, Kelvin Ha P8, Mohamed El Rizki P9, Max P10, Matt P10, Tarakaja P12, and Double Dora in this case, P13 and 14.
So this is the second heat. So it will be a reverse grid, I think. As my what info that I received.
Yep. And I just wonder, with the amount of fun we're having with these reverse grid races, right? I'm wondering why Formula One doesn't do that. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Imagine if Hamilton wins the first race, as we expect him to win, as usual, and then the second race he has to start from the back. Oh, that is just going to be so interesting. So now we have a 15-second countdown onto the start of the next race as we now zoom into the grid view that we have here. Pit Jordan, we look at Javier Alvarez running in P7, Kelvin Ha P8, and we have the rest filling in behind. We have lights out, and this is away we go. We have Pesa in P1 with a mega start, Fyros in P2 with an average start, and already Kelvinder up into P2, attacking into turn 1 as he now loses some positions as the Fords claw back the position right up. Looking at the camera, Pesa holds a strong P1 and Pit Jordan goes up into P2. Lloyd Lachlan, fantastic start from him despite starting from the rear. He is already up into P3 with Kelvinder in P4 and Javier Alvarez already in P6, just 0.1 seconds behind the car of Kelvin Ha and already up into P5. Very strong racing from the leaders that led the first race, and they're now flying off into their top positions down into the second race as a huge lockup there from Pesa, and Pit Jordan takes the lead with his RX-7 as they dive deep into the Siberia corner next. And Lloyd Lachlan up the inside, in his Ford and already through into P2, just half the lap into the second race. Wow, what a start as he just loses the back a little bit and saves it very well. Kelvinder strongly just pushes himself and takes the position assertively now into T7 Hayshed and up into Yuki Heights. What do you think of the start?
Oh, I was surprised because Heat 2 usually will have some door-to-door action, so this is rather good. Oh, okay, Bessa got off track there.
I think you know what? I think you are a really good predictor of these kind of things because every time you say something, it happens. You know? So can you say that I'm gonna maybe hit the? I'm gonna have strike be reached very soon.
Yeah, $1 million is on your front door, and get 25%.
So, with that being said, Carol, who do you think is gonna finish first in this race? Now that I'm gonna ask you this question.
Okay, from the standings currently, this is kind. Oh, Lloyd manages P1 right now. Okay.
Yes, I was just looking at the standings there, so I was just asking, who do you think is gonna finish first? As Lloyd just takes the first position, goes deep into turn 1 and takes it.
I'm guessing there will be a battle between Kelvinder and Pete Jordan, but the real battle will be with Javi. Javier will catch up soon because I think he's backing off just to give space for these three guys. And what the Malay guys, as Malay saying, kutip sayo. Yeah, when the front pack has a mishap, you gain a position freely there. If you just be patient and you get to reward yourself there.
As we look at Lloyd Loughlin doing the Lloyd going down the streets, I must say, I've learned a lot of racecraft from Lloyd here. He's a very experienced racer, and as he places his car exactly on the track where you cannot overtake. Now, this is just a very good defense from Lloyd all around. I think he's just the safest and one of the most respectable sim racers in Malaysia here. And it's been a pleasure to drive with him so far. And it's always very clean. But as you can see, he places his car very well on the track and makes it so tough for the cars behind to pass him. And obviously, this is helping Javier a lot. Like what you said just now, he was about 2 cars behind and 2 seconds behind. Look where he is. Look where he is right now. He is 0.3 behind these two and is ready to pounce if any one of them make a mistake down into turn 1. And as we just said that, we're now going into turn 1. Look at Lloyd Loughlin placing his car exactly where you don't want him to be, because he's just walking your line and he's just covering all bases. That even looking at current pace, I do think that Kelvinder is faster on pure pace itself, but he's just having a green chicane in front of him that he has to pass, you know, and that is just very tough to navigate safely. But credits to both. This is exciting and close racing. And we look at the cars of Javier Alvarez also behind, ready to take advantage. Now, Kelvinder is on the inside. Lloyd covered the outside. Oh, he just has a wheel spin and touches the car of Kelvinder, and as a result, Javier just goes into second position.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Kutip sayo, huh?
Yeah, kutip sayo.
He managed to kutip. I don't know how you say that in Spanish. But he managed to put it as they touch into Hayshed, and Javier is back into P3, but the very close P3. And look at Pete Jordan there. Do not ride off the P4 car. Pete Jordan just right behind there. He is so close. He's ready to put tip the side anytime as they all slide into the hairpin of MG, and Pete Jordan unfortunately is out of this contention for P1 and P3 up into the now P11 turn. Wow. I am not breathing. Are you breathing?
I'm taking my time to breathe. Yeah. This is just short sprint races. We've not gone into any endurance mode yet. Whoa, that's a good nice overtake there side by side.
Yes.
Kelvinder with Javier, and Kelvinder manages to gain a position there.
Yes, the fantastic power of the Holden Commodore goes past as he now goes into P2, and the RX-7 is not able to cope with the power of the Commodore down the straight. But let's see if the agile RX-7 can come back as Kelvin now is on the advantage, holding advantage behind Lloyd, going into his slight slipstream, and let's see which line he takes going down into the Honda right turn. Lloyd holds the inside, Kelvin stays with him on the inside, Javier tries to go around the outside, and Kelvin managed to get the apex and the inside, but don't forget that pesky little RX-7 is just behind, waiting to kutip the Sayo. As Kelvin the brake goes late in on the brakes, runs a bit wide, and
Whoa! What happened to Lloyd?
And Lloyd lost it. Lloyd loses it coming out of the Siberia turn left, and Kelvin goes into the lead of this race. Wow, that was interesting. That was close.
I didn't expect that to happen.
Yes, I did.
Whoa! What happens here?
They touch. Kelvin and Javier touch as Kelvin slides off. Ooh, wow. He just manages to basically recover the car on track. As now Kelvin will find the car of Pit Jordan just behind him, ready and waiting. And what is happening? Pit Jordan is sliding back again into P5 now. I wonder if he actually also spun as a result of that. Holden sliding across the track. Did he overcorrect and slide off, Pit Jordan?
Let's just see. I think he's maybe experiencing some issues there, but he's gaining back his positions here.
I see, yes. And as we look at the green car there of Kelvin Ha in P4 now, and Fairuz at P3, it seems like I think you're right again. The word Kutip Wing Sayo is again making a lot of sense.
What happened to Kelvin? Oh my!
Yeah, I would love to see what happened, but unfortunately, that we'll have to wait for another time when we have the replays. But Kelvin off the circuit at T2, the sudden loop, where it's just very difficult to navigate, especially I think with the heavy car like that, very challenging to do so. So now we are left with our sole leader, Javier Alvarez in his RX-7, leading the race with 1 minute and 40 seconds to go.
And he's gaining so big, his time gain is 6.867 seconds now. So it's gonna be a challenge for Fairuz to catch up within a minute and a half.
Yeah, but I think Javier will be very happy to have basically gain 7 seconds, and I think he'll just with 1 minute and 20 seconds left, I think he will just look to cruise down and close the race out. As we now look at Afar, and Afar is dueling with Talakaja down into T6, down in 6th position, up into T11 and going up into T12. The Holdens are still not out of the race. The nearest Holden is the car of Talakaja, now in P6, and let's look at the standings. Right, the Mazda RX-7s are running first, second, and third. This is obviously a clean out for the Mazda, the Japanese manufacturer. We have Kelvin Ha in the green Ford running 4th position. Representative from the Beamer side, Afar, running 5th. And as we have Kelvin Ha now running off the circuit into 6th and back into 7th position behind the cars right now. We still have all 4 manufacturers covering the first 6 positions. Should be interesting to see one final lap from all of them.
Yeah. So this is, I think, let's go on to Javier. Let's see where his position is now. What's happening here?
Kelvin slides off at the Honda turn and trying to recover. He did not recover.
And it's the final lap.
Yeah. Leader is on the final lap. The time is up. We are done for the day as Javier looks to close down his advantage of 8 seconds. He's now up into Luki Heights and will go soon down into MG. 3 more turns to go before Javier completes the double sweep and wins the race for very close, and just manages to hold it. Pit Jordan there, and he did that in the beginning of the race as well. He just nearly slid off again. It seems like he is very aggressive into MG, and the car just didn't want to listen to him. But obviously, he is very aggressive and he holds a stronger line compared to Fairuz in front. But will he be able to close the gap, which is looking to be too much for now? 0.7 seconds, but this is a drag race down the main straight. as Pit Jordan now holds the speed advantage over Fyros, and they close up into the finishing line, and Fyros manages to hold the position to finish P2. Pit Jordan finished P3, a far P4. Kelvin coming in at P5. Mohamed El Rizki P6 and Kelvin Ha P7 with Tara Kaja coming at P8 and Lloyd recovering to P9. Next we have Pesa and Max Palmer, and finally Matt and Dora, who did not finish. Wow, what a race! If this is what we're gonna be racing for the next few weeks of the historic series, I really need to drink a lot of water before we start.
Yeah, thanks for your commentaries today, Kelvin. So this for me, yeah, sim racing is kind of a passion also. But the weird thing is I don't own a wheel. I like spectating. So I have never met anybody like my hobby that share the same hobby as me. So if you do come across somebody that likes spectating sim racing, you might wanna hook him up to me to be friends.
Sure. Yes, you're right. Actually, I think you are the first unique person I've seen in this the sim racing field that actually enjoys mostly on the watching side rather than the racing side of things. But
Yeah.
but honestly, Hyro, we are very thankful for you, and we're very thankful for Adrenaline Impact providing us such great entertainment on the Friday night.
Yeah, I've got something to share on Sunday, so I'm gonna pull up the poster. Just give me a minute. So, okay, where is it? So, for you, how do you treat sim racing? Is it as a hobby or as a reliever, or what do you think of sim racing, Kelvin?
Depends. I think a lot of our sim racing friends will agree with what I'm about to say. Is that if you want to be competitive and go a bit more serious about things, iRacing is where you want to be. So iRacing in general is a little bit more stressful for me.
Yeah.
Competitive, yeah. But in order to have some fun, Assetto Corsa with the mods is really where you want to be.
Yeah.
There's some really fantastic mods out there that I've seen. It's really fun, especially when you find a group of friends that are having the same hobbies and do the same thing, and everyone just basically jumps into a race together and does silly things together. And that is what we have over here in the Adrenaline Impact series. So I urge any of you sim racers out there running Assetto Corsa, iRacing, if you're not following Adrenaline Impact, please do. We have a very big group also in Malaysia called Sim Racing Enthusiasts, and inside there we have a lot of people, and everyone is just happy to play with each other, and it's semi-serious, but we take sim racing very seriously, but it's still with some fun and not too serious at times. So yeah, it's a very stress-free environment.
Yeah, coming up next, this Sunday is our tribute race to MX5. So we're gonna refresh. We're gonna go back to season one, the official car for season one of AIMC. So, it will be a short race, 25 minutes, and it's open to league members. So if you do have iRacing but you're not racing with AIMC before, just give us a message. We'll help you out on how to get into the league. So we have some big news. So that's only due on Monday. So, but if you're interested, please stay tuned to Adrenaline Impact. So, Kelvin, thanks for your time tonight. We had a great commentary. We had two great heats today, and yeah, we've seen the RX-7 just taking this race. Bringing it home very easily, but the Commodores are not giving a chance also, right? So what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a great race. Thank you for having me today. I look forward to see you at the next race. But I think what we all want here is basically just close racing, because whether it is sim or whether it is depends on what you want to call it, right? Esports, sim racing, or whether it is sim or the real racing. I think what we want is close racing that unfortunately we have not been really getting since some time over in if you look at the world's premier motorsport series, which is Formula One, I'm always highly critical because I love Formula One, but they just don't provide the same type of entertainment
Yeah.
that we can provide right over here, right? So as you can see today, it was so close, so tight, and all the races are so respectful of each other, giving each other space, different types of cars, different types of performance envelopes, and yet they are all racing together closely. I just think this is really very exciting for me. So thank you for having me here. I really enjoyed my day today.
Okay, thanks again. So these events are not possible if without these guys' support of MSR, Tada Kerja, Split Tavern. So these guys are behind the scenes setting up the cars and tracks, testing them out, making sure they are competitive enough. And for the Super Street Series, customizing the cars so they will suit each other. And we're looking forward to another great week of AC next week.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's all for tonight. Thank you, Kelvin T, and we'll see you again in the next race. Ciao.
Thanks, Karen. Ciao. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Matt from Interformula, and welcome to our Research and Development Centre. We do all forms of research and development, all the way from designing and developing our own race cars, to simulators, to running cars in racing series and rallying all over the world. We also do a lot in the Asian Classic Car Championship, so do look out for us. For any information, do contact us with the number down below.